Hi Pisces! Welcome to your April 2019 horoscope and tarot reading. And this month, the main focus that I'm thinking for your sign is reward. So Mercury retrograding in your sign was particularly heavy. It was particularly like unclogging and emotional drain at times. My ascendant is Pisces, and I felt this massively. I can't imagine how much your sun or moon signs are feeling this. It really is like all this debris washes up onto the shore and you have to sort through it before your beaches can be clean again. And it really can be very, very, very heavy for people, especially when the mood just hits you like that. Now, Mercury is direct and it will be in your sign still until the 17th. And at that point, you will feel like you are more in control of your emotions and your thought processes, and things just make more sense. It's not like needing an interpreter for every dream or every strange coincidence or every person from the past that is haunting you. It's kind of as though now you have this energy and this exceptional energy, and it's coming from Venus. Venus is in your sign right up until the 20th of April. So we'll go more into the Venus in Aries saga in mid-April, which is going to give you a real boost to your finances. But until then, Venus in your sign is giving you this really beautiful allure. And it's what I think of the Venus effect. When you become more attractive, you are attracting new people into your life. Love is coming easier to you. It comes easier to all of us when Venus is in Pisces. That's what's such a beautiful aspect to have. Your desire to look good and feel good may lead you to excess expenditure, but it's kind of like birthday season, I think, more so whenever Venus is in your sign, because you want to put your money into your appearance, into yourself, you want to invest in yourself. With Mercury retrograde out of the way, you can get that haircut, you can get all that, those new clothes, whatever it is you want to do. You'll be a pleasure to be around, Pisces, for sure. Not that you're not always, but you know what I mean. It's going to really enhance your powers of attraction, your charisma, your natural charm. When we think of Venus, we think of charm. And when it's in your sign, you just get absolutely dressed to the nines and look flawless. So you could meet somebody special. It's a great time to attract romance. But I also want to talk about your finances in general. You know, with that excess expenditure, the sun and the new moon are going to be in your second house. The new moon on the 5th of April in Aries is the best time to put down a financial plan. So talk about what figure you want to manifest into your bank account. The first step to manifesting anything is to decide what it is. So if you, for example, are not in a position where you have a great relationship with money, it's not feeling easy, describe how you want it to feel as though it already does. Get into that law of attraction momentum. What type of figure you want to earn, where you could make excess money. You might come up with a great business idea under this new moon. But you may associate your money with your confidence. So, make sure that you're investing in yourself rather than investing in other people that you just want to like you. Do you know what I mean? There's always that twist with the second house. Money will be on your mind. And your self-worth is actually much more important than your financial worth. So make sure you're not associating the two, because if you have higher self-worth, your relationship with your money actually improves. So make sure that your confidence is high. Embrace that Venus energy. Now, Mars, on the other hand, is going to be in your 4th house. And it's going to connect with the moon on the 8th and the 9th of the month. And this is going to put more energy into making your home beautiful. But it can also help you complete projects. You might be redecorating. You might have excess energy, which is hitting you again. And I know we're kind of tired after Mercury in retrograde of hitting back at the past. But with Mars in your 4th house, which oftentimes rules the past, and I mean long distance past, I mean childhood, you might have to sort through a few things there. There might be a bit some disagreements of the way your childhood was, or disagreements with your parents, particularly the mother, or that might be where your excess energy is directed. That might be where your sources of anxiety are coming in, your relationship with your mother, etc. But the full moon on the 19th in the last degree of Libra is going to bring you this intense and spiritual healing. So bear in mind, Pisces, it is kind of as though there's these really beautiful moments, particularly when Venus and Neptune, your ruler, in your sign are connecting this month. There's these really beautiful, romantic, mystical, rose-tinted look on the world moments. And yet there's also these really heavy moments where the emotions still come to the surface. And you have to sort of let them go. You know, when that full moon rolls around, you're in between the same kind of full moon in a way. You know, they were both in Libra, one on the 1st degree, one on the 29th. So there's a great degree of closure occurring for you, Pisces. And it is something that, you know, in your 8th house energy, it's something that is going to be very cathartic. And what you try to hide and what you try to run away from may persist, and it may catch up with you. So if you have dreams about being pursued, do think about it. You're having, you know, you want your partnerships to be deep and supportive, but you need to make sure that you're available. And I say you're available because this, you know, Uranus is opposing that full moon in particular, and you might be trying to break free because you feel like you can't say what you think, even if people want something different for you. You know, you are growing. Okay, just because you're growing doesn't mean it's an easy process. It can sometimes feel a bit painful, and it can also feel a little bit like you're waiting around to see how things develop, and it's frustrating for you. We just had your season and you had the moment of planting the seeds. Unfortunately, Mercury was retrograde, and it could feel a little bit like you had to second guess your instincts at times. And then sometimes it felt like your instincts were far too intense. And now you're just sort of waiting to see what happens. You're just sort of wondering what Aries season is going to bring for you, what April's going to bring. But with Venus in your corner, you can guarantee that you're going to find something quite beautiful. It's too many. King of Swords, possibly with an air sign. If you're dealing with a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, you're waiting to see what happens. And there may be something worth celebrating with this person. 3 of Cups is typically a celebration between 2 people. It looks like it's 3, but oftentimes the 3rd represents an energy. You know, it's 2 people celebrating a pregnancy, 2 people celebrating a wedding, 2 people celebrating something financial. There's cause for celebration, particularly in the family setting. So Mars in the 4th is actually bringing your energy towards making your family happier, or you're longing for a happier family dynamic, particularly if you're dealing with an air sign person. There's a need for those beautiful Venus moments, and they're long overdue because you really, 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 really want to see them. The 3 of Cups and the 4 of Wands is beautiful energy. It's all about celebrating events that connect us as people. So feeling connected to the people that you love the most, feeling connected to the people that you care about the most, and feeling as though you're actually getting somewhere, especially if it's to do with a fire sign. So we have air and fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We also have an element of travel, because the Knight of Wands always can, of course, represent a fire sign person, but it can also represent moving residence, moving overseas, moving to a new country, or just simply wanting. Some of you want to move to be closer to home, and some of you want to move away from home. Mars in the 4th is kind of like homesick, sick of home, a vibe. But there's a lot of excitement. This is what I like. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of parties. There's a lot of celebrations. Even if you're concerned about your money and you want to save, you can find ways of doing it by having parties at home. Wow, the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. Some of you are going into relationships with fire signs, committing to a fire sign or an air sign. It really depends. But the Knight of Wands and the Hierophant, you're committing to the next stage of a journey. You're committing to movement. And the Ace of Wands is something that brings you great passion, great joy. And then we have the 7 of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Okay, and of course, gorgeous 2 of Cups underneath, making a lot of sense with Venus. being in your sign. In fact, the Four of Wands, the Two of Cups, everything is this beautiful, fertile energy. Brilliant time for love. In fact, I would hedge my bets that if you're dealing with an air sign or a fire sign, Pisces, it will probably move quite quickly. Okay. I know these are all sort of lopsided. Let me move them. If you're thinking about changing jobs because you either want to travel more or travel less, you would be wise sticking up for yourself and putting that letter out. The Page of Pentacles in work and financial situations is a message. And with the Seven of Wands, it is about standing your ground and making yourself known. With the Ace of Wands, I feel like there's a new opportunity, something that is really sparking your interest, something that is really getting your juices going, and it's making you really excited. And the thing is, you feel like you're going to come up against a bit of opposition, either in work or with children, but you have a really strong idea about something that will benefit you. And to an extent, it might benefit your family, it might benefit everybody around you. It's quite cool. The King of Swords and the Three of Cups is giving me major... It's like a celebration of morality. It's, you know that Rihanna song where she sings, what is it called? Is it called Drink to That? She's a Pisces. Let the Jemison sink in, I'll drink to that. And then she's like, don't let the bastards get you down. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from the King of Swords, Three of Cups. So you're waiting, you've anticipation. I feel like you know things are about to get really exciting, Pisces. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You know things are about to get really exciting, and you know that there's somebody special on the periphery, or you've met somebody special. I'm really leaning towards Earth, Fire and Air, but it could be a fellow water sign. Of course, we go into that in the Vimeo readings, you know, more into the elements of it, but these just represent figures, right? So the Four of Wands, Three of Cups is probably an engagement. It's probably a wedding. It's probably something really, really, really special that gives you this kind of reminder after Mercury retrograde that life can be beautiful. You know, it's going to generate for you a very fond memory. And I'm really leaning towards like a commitment ceremony. I don't know. I mean, the King of Swords is kind of legal. It could be that. It could be completely, you know, a marriage. But almost like a commitment ceremony vibe for Pisces. More so than anything else. And maybe some of you are actually scared to ask for time off, which is interesting. I also get this vibe that you're fighting between, and this is so the two fish aspect of things. You're so fighting between doing what is financially and socially normal and branching off and doing your own thing, like doing your own passion, like living through your art. Do you know what I'm saying? Your art is going to be so beautiful if you're an artist. You know, you're going to have real exposure. There's going to be people that want to celebrate what you're doing creatively, which is gorgeous, Pisces. Venus in your sign is giving you this real oomph in your creativity. The Ace of Wands always reminds me of a painter. You know, someone that paints pictures and portraits, and they do it with such passion that it just means something different to everyone that sees it. And almost like when you keep looking at it, it just looks, you know, you see something new. That's kind of like the Piscean personality, right? It's that beautiful artistic person that every time you look at it, you see a new detail that you didn't see before, and it's really exciting. And this is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You're sort of having to defend this part of your nature, and you have to question, who are you defending it to? Like, who cares? Like, who's your opposition? Who's your challenge? For a lot of you, it's an earth sign, and for a lot of you, it's actually your inner child leading back to school. So somebody more than likely, and we're talking about Mars in your 4th house, so that is childhood memories and what made you feel aggressive, and that's what this looks like. But it's drawing me to school, it's drawing me to studies, it's making me think about, you know, when you were an artistic child but your parents wanted you to be a doctor, or you were really, really, really great at science but your teacher said you shouldn't be going down that route, that's for boys or something. You know what I mean? If somebody that challenged you in school. Alternatively, you may be reconnecting with old friends from school, you know, particularly the earth signs. So what I'm getting here, Pisces, is a really beautiful, creative, lovely month where there's this real romantic partnership, but there's also this deep soulmate connection with your own art, your own creativity. There's beautiful celebrations here in love. You know, like love worth celebrating, something really good news. It actually makes me really happy to see this. There's the usual mixed bag. I mean, there's that feeling that something in childhood or somebody's critique you've taken really seriously and really to heart. And you'll realize this month when you see these really beautiful moments that it really meant nothing, because they didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. There's joyful people around you. There's marriage, there's weddings, there's creativity, there's parties, there's festivals maybe for some of you. There's possibly let me think. I had something on the tip of my tongue. Like a fair maybe. Fairs. These are so similar. This is just everybody having a good time. And this is your spiritual part, though. The Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. A spiritual spark. It's a spiritual spark. It's like answered faith. Having faith in something. So stop fighting it just because society says that it's wrong. I actually put this out on my Instagram the other day, how people deal, you know, how you respond to people that critique your love of the esoteric. And the answers that I got back were phenomenal. You know, people's responses were just awesome. Like, I learned so much from people just by asking and just by finding a community. You know, if you have an interest that's a little bit different, or you have an interest that's a bit quirky, find your tribe. Because they have answers that you will need. I really, honestly, the answers that I got back made my day. And it was wonderful. And it just made me see the beautiful side of social media. Even if you get trolls from time to time, there's still such beautiful souls on it. And their voices should really be louder. You can learn so much from people if you just ask. You know? And to me, this is like answered faith, an answered prayer, having this beautiful spark energy, this ability to move as well. You're going to go traveling. You're going to take that risk. You're going to pursue that creativity. This is like spring sunshine, Pisces. It's just gorgeous. I really, really, really like it. The only obstacle I see is fighting a stigma attached to you from childhood where you feel like you have to be a certain way. Why though? If everybody was the same, the world would just be one big shade of grey. If everybody was the same, we would have the most boring planet. And for sure aliens would have taken over. But you never know. Anyway. This is just you breaking into a feeling of security, I think. Because there's great celebration, there's great fun, there's great spark, there's great passion, there's great feeling. But there's a security here with the Four of Wands and the Hierophant, isn't there? There's a promise of security. I think this is one of the best Pisces readings I've seen in a while. It's just the Venus effect. It's gorgeous. And if you're wondering why you don't see the Lovers, just remember that the Lovers can oftentimes be kind of tricky. It can represent choices. But here, I don't see choices in love. I see the real deal, the real authentic deal. Dragonflies and blue skies and posies. It's just so lovely. So if you want to join me in the Vimeo readings for more love information into if you're dealing with an air sign, fire sign, etc., we go in more in depth there and see what comes out. And if not, I will see you, Pisces, in the mid-monthlies for Taurus season. And make the most of Venus. Get out there, enjoy it. People like you so much more than you think they do. Okay? Get out there, enjoy it, be seen. The world is your stage. I love you guys, Pisces. I'll see you later. Bye.